Okay, so iPadOS 16 has a ton of new features, but do you need to go out and buy a new iPad just to use them all? Well, if that's what you're looking for, then this is the right video to be on, as that's the question I'm going to answer today. So hit the subscribe button and click the bell as we cover all things iPad Pro here, as well as Apple Talk and Pro Audio. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granny Geek Show. Okay, so before we get started, if you're looking for fantastic music for your videos, folks, look no further than Upbeat. Upbeat is the best service for music for your YouTube videos. You don't have to worry about copyright strikes. I've used them in every single video that I've made since I found them. The subscription price is ridiculous, $6.99. I kid you not, that's what you pay per month for some of the best selections of music out there, in my opinion. I love it. You're even listening to it right now. So I'm not going to waste your time. If you're simply looking for a list of compatible devices to even run iPadOS 16, then here it is. Of course, all models of iPad Pro are going to be able to run the software. Then when it comes to the iPad Air, you're looking at the 3rd generation or newer, and then iPad 5th generation and iPad mini 5th generation or newer. Those are the devices that will simply be able to run the software. But if you're more specifically looking for those cool features that really dramatically change the way we use the iPad, that's what you're going to want to stay tuned for, and stay till the end for a bonus one. Okay, starting off with number 1, reference mode. This is an incredible new feature that turns your iPad display into a true professional reference monitor, allowing you to get critically close colors when doing any kind of color critical work, like video editing or photo editing, what have you. When it counts, that's what you're going to want to use. Now, unfortunately, this is only for the XDR models of the iPad Pro, and this right now is limited to the M1 12.9-inch iPad Pro. So no M1 iPad Air, no 11-inch M1 iPad Pro. It is the only iPad that has the XDR display with the mini LEDs, much like the professional big boy $6,000 XDR display. So that's reference mode. Okay, the second really dope feature about iPadOS 16 is live text, this time in video. So we used to be able to pull out the text of any photo, but now we can do it in a paused frame of video. Now, this is not M1 exclusive. This will be able to be used in any iPad with the A12 Bionic chip or newer. So what does this mean? This means your iPad mini 5th generation, your iPad Air 3rd generation. The bar is really set for entry. If you can even get iPadOS 16, then you can get some of the basic features, but a theme you'll find is the A12 chip or newer is going to have you set. Also, the iPad 8th generation has the A12 Bionic chip. So any iPad with that, and if you're looking for an iPhone that has that, that's your iPhone XS and XS Max and your iPhone XR or later. And for kicks and giggles, even your Apple TV 4K 2nd gen has the A12 Bionic. Okay, hitting in at number 3, this is all about Siri. So Siri now allows you to hang up a call with just your voice saying, hey, trigger word, hang up the call. And it also allows you to add emoji in text. So while you're dictating a text to Siri, you can tell it to insert smiling emoji or fire emoji, something like that, and it'll put it right in. Once again, guys, the theme that I talked about is A12 Bionic or newer. So refer to the little earlier in the video where I list the devices, but it's going to be A12 devices or newer. So again, not an M1 exclusive, so you don't have to run out and get the new iPad in order to enjoy this. And from there, I want to talk about feature number 4, which is the incredible, game-changing Stage Manager, which we not only have in iPadOS 16, but also in macOS Ventura. So what is Stage Manager? I did an entire video on it, linked down below. I'll even put it in a card up here, but it essentially allows multi-window, resizable windows, for lack of a better word, to be used on iPad and on an external monitor. So for this feature, yes, it is M1 exclusive. So what does this include? This includes your M1 iPad Pros, 11 and 12.9 inch, and of course the all-new M1 iPad Air. So those will be able to use the sort of Pro mode that had been rumored before the event, in which you can take multiple windows, up to 8 windows with an external monitor, and resize them to your liking, using them all at once with the incredible M1 chip. And so that segues into number 5, which is external monitor support. So, okay, we can use Stage Manager, but can we use external monitor support? This was a big one for a lot of people. They were like, hey, I've got the iPad Air 3rd generation or the mini or whatever, and I just want to see it on a bigger screen. Does this external monitor support apply to this? Unfortunately, it does not. So Stage Manager is the only way that you will get full use of your external monitor. And of course, Stage Manager is only an M1 feature. Thus, the full external monitor functionality is only unlocked with M1 iPad. So if you have a newer iPad, you still can technically connect it to a display, but you're going to get those dreaded pillar boxes on the side, those black bars on the right and left of the display. And this is just fitting the display ratio of the iPad, whereas with the M1 devices, they can output to a full monitor. I expect we'll see a lot more features with M1 iPads because, once again, it's a Mac chip in an iPad. And so I know they say, no, rarely it's an iPad chip in a Mac. But what I'm saying is this thing's got Thunderbolt controllers. It has external monitor support, all these different things that iPad just never had access to. So they'll just be unlocking more and more Mac-like functionality over time here. Now, if you stayed here until the end, I want to thank you sincerely, and I'm going to reward you with a couple of bonus features, starting out with lift from the background. I've personally used this in my last 3 or 4 videos for the thumbnails. Check those out. I pulled myself out of a picture and used it for the thumbnail. This is usable in Photos and Safari and even screenshots natively right in iPadOS. So all you do is tap on the subject and hold, and it will pull it right out of the background. This used to take me about 2-3 minutes to do when making thumbnails, and every second counts here on YouTube. So that's an incredible feature that is available for all my iPad users who can use iPadOS 16. So that's a great one. And then finally, let's talk Freeform. Now, this is a collaborative software that allows people to, collaborate on projects using PDFs and rich text and embedded videos, and they can sketch and draw and share photos and all different kinds of things, links, what have you, in this huge whiteboard of a space where you can invite friends and work on different things. I would imagine this is great, obviously, for business and collaboration, but it's also good for students working on projects because you can have a whole archive of different things that you've worked on in different projects and their various stages. Now, that is coming in the fall, so it's not currently available, but the fall is probably when we'll be getting iPadOS 16 anyway, in terms of when consumers and regular non-beta testers will be able to get their hands on it. So Freeform is an awesome one that definitely you want to stick around for. Now, if you're still here, I want to talk to you about a tease that Apple had before we wrap up the video. They mentioned desktop class apps, and this was a huge tease because, of course, for a long time people have been saying, are you bringing Logic Pro, are you bringing Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, are you bringing actual desktop class apps to the iPad? And of course this turned out to not be true for this year, at least, but what they meant by that were a couple of things. So the first one was customizable toolbars. That's what they meant by desktop class. They meant redesigned toolbar buttons, the ability to search, new contextual menus, multi-select context menus, tongue twister there, find and replace, undo and redo in more apps, like we couldn't already do that on the iPad, copy and drag contacts to mail, availability view in calendar, column autocomplete in numbers, that's desktop class, I guess that's what we're on, and then lists in contacts, and look for duplicates and merge cards in contacts. So I guess that's what Apple sees as desktop class when it comes to applications, but certainly it was a tease because we thought that it meant so much more, but we'll have to wait until the fall or WWDC next year. So if you stuck around to the very end, a sincere thank you. You gotta stick around for what I have coming next with the subscribe, click the bell, because you don't want to miss more iPad Pro focused and Apple Talk focused content. So thanks so much for watching. As always, again, if you like the music in this video, check out Upbeat down in the description below as well. Stay tuned as we cover all these things. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granny Geek Show.